Welcome everyone. My name is David Broussard and this is our Office 365 Bootcamp. In this episode, we're going to talk about one of the hidden features of Office 365 that people have heard of but don't use all that time. It's called Delve. Now, what is Delve? Delve is actually turning the entire search paradigm of Office 365 on its head. Normally, we go out and look for information. We go out and we'll hit our email, we'll hit our OneDrive, we'll hit the search center in SharePoint, and we will go looking for a particular document. What Delve is going to do is it's going to take our social context. It'll take the people we work with on a regular basis. It will take documents we've worked with and that have been shared with us and emailed to us, and it's going to actually surface those documents to us based on its algorithms internally. Now what that means is instead of you actually having to go out and find a document and search for it and remember its name, Delve is actually going to take documents that it thinks are relevant to you and it's going to show them to you in an easy to use card-based format. Now, if you've been using Office 365 for a while and you've gone out and taken a look at a user profile, then you've already started using Delve and you've seen some of the great things that happen out there. So the business case that we're talking about is, how am I improving the productivity of my users in my organization by making it easier for them to find relevant information quickly inside? So to do that, we'll take a look at Delve. So what I've got here is an example of a Office 365 site, and to get to Delve, all we have to do is click on the Delve app launcher. I can do that from the Waffle app launcher and find it over here, or I can do it from the other one. I'll go ahead and click on the Waffle app launcher, and it's going to bring up Delve over here. And you'll see when I go inside to my Delve area, the first thing it shows me is, hey, this is where I'm going to show you some popular documents, right? And I can discover documents that other people are working on. When you've been in Delve a few times, you can go ahead and close this down so you don't see it anymore. And what it's going to see now is a series of cards, right? Some people have called it the Pinterest of Office 365, because it does have that same kind of card setup. And you'll see that I've got documents that are considered popular to me. So this first one over here is this Contoso, because we work for Contoso, M400 collateral, and it's living out in the collateral center. And the same thing with a smartphone and some specs for the MP3 player. But as I scroll down through here, you'll notice, hey, this is interesting. Julian Isla, he's one of my coworkers, right? He emailed me on February 20th this manufacturing conference deck PowerPoint. Well, that's actually kind of cool. In the past, if I'd wanted to find that document, how would I have done it? I would have had to have gone to my email and found that particular document. And maybe I remembered that Julian sent it to me, and maybe I didn't. Maybe I remembered the file name, and maybe I didn't. I think we've all been in that situation where we've sat there in our email going through trying to find a PowerPoint presentation or a document that somebody has sent to us and being frustrated again and again and again. Well, what's happening now is it's recognized that Julian sent this to me. It's recognized that Julian is a coworker of mine. It's recognized that this is something that I've opened up recently or looked at recently, and it's elevating that inside of this Delve search right here. What's great about that is I haven't had to go looking for it. It says this is relevant to me. And I can scroll down through here and see other documents that I have out here. This one, well, once again, popular, but here's one that David So emailed to me, right? This manufacturing op management conference, another PowerPoint presentation. And then what I can do is I can click on these things and it goes and opens up Outlook for me, and it's going to bring it up and it's actually going to show me this document inside the context of the email. And this is a really neat thing as well, because without having to do anything else, I haven't even downloaded the document to myself, I've actually just clicked on it right from Delve. It's opened up the email so I can see the context of the email that's been delivered to me, and it's opened up the email over here as a beautiful PowerPoint presentation in PowerPoint Online. And from here, I can actually go right through this entire PowerPoint. If I want to, I can download it. I can respond back to this. I can edit and reply if I want to. By clicking on edit and reply, I'm actually going to start editing it inside the context of the email. I'm not having to open up PowerPoint and edit it. I'm actually editing it right here. And I can go ahead and say, instead of calling this panel discussion, I'm going to call this team discussion. And It saved that document back for me, one of the cool things about PowerPoint Online. And when I respond to this back and send it back to David, I can come down here and say, made a couple of edits. Love it. Oop, not lock it. Love it. Okay, and I'll hit send. And so if we think about what's happened from a business standpoint, David So has sent me that email. Maybe it was a couple of weeks ago, maybe it was a month ago, but I know I needed to go ahead and take a look at that presentation. As I'm looking through my Delve, I saw that and go, oh wait, I need to respond to that. I clicked on it, it opened it up in the context of the email so I can see what he was talking about, and I was able to edit, view, and then edit and respond back, all without ever leaving my web system here and really leaving Delve at all. Well, that's just really scratching the surface. Because what I'm looking at here is just the basic part of showing me documents that Delve thinks are applicable to me. And the more we use Office 365, the more applicable those documents are going to become. What else can I do? I can actually mark these things as favorites. So if this one down here is a favorite for me, or this document here, I can go ahead and tag it and mark documents that I think are important and make them favorites. So this document from manufacturing, I can tag as favorites. And when I click on the favorites area, it's going to come back and show me favorite things that I've been looking at. So now what I can do is, as I find documents, if I'm really working on them on a regular basis, I can tag those. Let's say there's a template document that I always want to start from. When I find it in Delve, I tag it as a favorite, and I know I can go here and find that document and work with it later. Now, the other thing you see on here is it talks about favorite boards. What are boards, you might say? Well, boards are a way for all of the users in an organization to go ahead and take these different documents and classify them a certain way. So here's an example. We've got this document that I have as favorited that's about the M300 smartphone. If I click down here on the boards section, it's going to say, hey, I can create a board for this. What do? I say add to a board. Well, what board do I want to add this to? What is a board? Well, think of it in the same sense as like a cork board. I can take this card and I can pin it to a board. And in this case, I'm going to pin it to the smartphone board. Okay? So I just type in the word smartphone, and now what happens is I will always be able to go back and find smartphone and anything that's been tagged with smartphone by me, and here's the real fun part, by anybody else in the organization. So if somebody else comes along like Julian or Karen and tags another document with smartphone, when I go into Delve and look at the smartphone board, it's going to show me all of the documents that have been tagged with smartphone throughout the organization by any user. This means that we're actually able to build a taxonomy and build an information architecture that's not structured, that's coming from the top down of the organization, but that we as the users inside the organization can build that same taxonomy ourselves through the use of boards. Incidentally, a document can be in multiple boards. I can add this to the M300, and I can add this to sales documents. And as I create these boards, you're going to see behind the scenes that these boards appear up here. And if I click on smartphone, you'll see that right now there's only one document in the smartphone board because nothing else has been tagged so far. But as other users go out and create documents and tag it with smartphone, they would start appearing on this particular board. So that's a second way that Delve is really popular. First, if I go back to home, it's showing me documents that it thinks are important to me. It's also allowing me to create boards, right? So I can go ahead and grab documents other people have seen. You'll notice also that I've got an ability to look at myself inside of Delve. And if I click on the Me button, you'll see that the persona that I'm portraying right now is Eric Gruber, who's the Director of Finance for Contoso. And it gives me my profile page. So it's showing me my email address and how to get in touch with me on Skype. I can update my profile because it's me. I can also go down here and look at my calendar and see what meetings I've got. It also, and this, I really love this, it's showing me documents that I've been working on recently. So it's showing me that I've actually loaded up this training class document, and it's a private document. Nobody else can see that. That means that even one of my coworkers that goes out there who might have this surface because they work with me all the time won't see it. Why won't they see it? Because it's security trimmed. Everything in Delve is security trimmed, just like everything else in SharePoint and everything else in Office 365. If I didn't email that document or share that document with them, they're not going to see it inside of Delve, and you can have confidence in that. Below those documents, I can actually go down here and start to see, click people who are around me that I work with on a regular basis, like Kelly or Renee or Spencer. These are people that I work with, and it shows me that I can click on them and go look at them. I can also discover documents from people around me. And that's really kind of like the home page. But I can go over here to Kelly, for example, and I can click on her. Now, if I go look at Kelly's page, what am I seeing over here? Once again, she's a public relations representative, right? I can see her email address, how to get with her. I also get to see, hey, look at this. I can see her schedule over here under the Today area. I can also see where she lives inside the organization. I see that she reports to Alan, who reports to Dan, who is the CEO of the company. I can see the documents that she's been working on recently. Now, is this all of her documents? No, it's only the ones that I am allowed to see. Even if I click on See All over here and it's showing me all of her documents, it's still, once again, only documents that I'm allowed to see. A lot of these are coming from the marketing team site, and the marketing team is one that I have access to. As I go down through this, I might find, here's one from the Collateral Center. I don't see if I see any coming from her OneDrive right now, but if she had shared documents with me, I would see from OneDrive, I would see them here as well, and it tells me where they come from. And as I go through here and I say, hey, you know, look, here's a, let's find, here's the M300 smartphone. Notice it remembers it's a favorite, and it knows what boards it's associated with. I could go over here to this M400, and I could go ahead and add this to smartphone. Remember to misspell it, because I misspelled it when I created the smartphone board. And you'll see it actually suggests the board to me that's out there. So I'll go ahead and create that, and I've added it to the smartphone instead of phone out there. That means that if I go back over to that favorite board and I look at that smartphone board, we're going to see that, look, the M400 has shown up there as well. That's how boards work. In fact, even if Kelly had gone out there and tagged it with smartphone, then it would show up on that board. So we've taken a look at these boards. Let's take a look at what we can do with people. So if I go and look at Kelly, we've talked a little bit about what we see with her profile information over here, including her calendar, which can be very useful. We also are going to see the documents that she's been working on. We can see the people that are around her, the documents from the people around her, and also her organization, where she lives inside the org chart for the organization. All of that's great. Now think about how we use that inside of our daily business, right? If I've got a meeting with somebody, Kelly has sent me a meeting request. I have no idea who Kelly is, never worked with her before. Here I can see what she looks like. I can get some information about her. I can look at her schedule and see how busy she is and what she's doing. I can see what documents she's been working on, where she is inside the organization structure. All of that gives me context around what that meeting is and why this person might be contacting me in the first place. I can also see the skill sets and areas that she's working in and the people that she's working in. All of that provides a great deal of value to me as a user inside of the organization so I can understand what's going on. So the next thing we're going to take a look at is how to measure your work health. We can use a feature of Delve called My Analytics, kind of like we would use a Fitbit to track our health. We call it a Workbit. To do that, we go to this My Analytics tab over here. And what the My Analytics tab is actually doing for us is it's going out and seeing how we work inside of our organization, and it's tracking a whole bunch of, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so we can see this. It's tracking a whole bunch of great information for us. So if we look at what's going on inside of me, Eric Gruber's life, you'll see that it tells me that I've had 5 hours of meetings this week. I wish I only had 5 hours of meetings in real life, right? But what's cool about that is I've set my goal as to be in meetings less than 10 hours a week. Once again, that would be awesome if that was the case. But I've got the ability to actually go out and edit how many hours I want to be in meetings in a given week. And so I might go out and set my goal to be 20 hours. Now what it's doing is it's saying a normal work week is 40 hours, and it's going to let me go out and let me know if I'm ever having more than 20 hours worth of work. It's just like setting a step goal of, say, 10,000 steps every day. I'm doing the same thing, by the way, under email hours. It's actually watching how much time I'm spending reading emails on a daily basis. And I've set that goal for reading 10 emails for 10 hours a week. Once again, that would be awesome. This next one over here is called focus hours. Now, focus hours are pretty cool. What focus hours are is it's an algorithm Microsoft came up with that said, how many hours do I have on my schedule in which I've got 2 unencumbered hours in a row? So I've got time that I'm not going to meetings, I'm not doing other things, that I can actually really focus in on getting my work done. And this is a measurement that a lot of organizations are starting to use because they recognize that for us to be productive, we have to have the time to sit down and really think and get into our work. If we're constantly being interrupted, we're not able to be as productive. So focus hours is a way that we can track that as well. And it's doing things like watching how often I'm in meetings, how often I am reading emails. In fact, it even tracks if I'm reading emails after hours. In this case, it can say that I'm spending 2 hours a week reading emails after hours, meaning after 5 p.m., before 8 a.m., and on Saturday and Sunday. And I can set my goal to be whatever I want that to be and how much email I want to read when I'm offline. All of that is helping me. Now, does it change my work? No, that's up to me. I've got a Fitbit here. I've got a goal of 10,000 steps every day. Does it walk for me? No, it does not. But it reminds me that I should walk. And these are the kinds of things that we can do, that this is doing here as well. That's why we call it our work bit. Some other things we have down here is it talks about people that you should be staying in touch with. These are people that are important to you. It shows you how much time that you're reading emails from them, how much time you're actually interacting with them. It also shows you who your top collaborators are and how much time you're spending collaborating with them. I can go down and say, hey, look, I collaborate with Alicia Thomber, my manager. We spend about an hour a week collaborating. We don't have any one-on-one meetings. I haven't gotten any emails from her to read, so it says I haven't read any of her emails, but it'll show you about how many emails you're getting from your manager, how long it's taking you to respond back to them, and how long it takes your manager to respond back to you as well. Down here at the bottom, you'll see that it actually starts to track what kind of meetings do I have. And in this case, I have a whole bunch of 5 hours every week of recurring meetings, probably 1 hour a day. It tells me that the company average is 5.3 hours, so I'm actually ahead of the curve in that regard. One of the cool things it also does is it looks for when you are having meetings with your coworkers, and if it sees a recurring meeting with you and other people, it'll actually suggest to all of you, hey, instead of all of you going to this meeting together, maybe you should send one person so that the rest of you can actually focus on the work that you have to do. And then lastly, down here at the bottom, it actually tracks your email habits and gives you some more information about your focus hours and how that works inside of your work week. You can see that I can dive into each individual day, and it shows me on Monday, I had 1 hour of meetings and 7 hours of time that I could actually focus on and get work done. Okay? All right. So I think this is a really powerful tool because what it's going to let you do is it gives you some deep analytics into how you actually work. It lets you track things like, hey, am I working on the weekends? Am I working at night? And one other cool feature in there, it actually tracks when you multitask during meetings. So let's say you have a meeting scheduled, and inside that meeting, you open up Outlook and you start reading emails, right? Well, are you really paying attention to the meeting at that point in time? No, not really. You're multitasking and doing emails. And it actually can gauge how much you're multitasking during your meetings, because if you're doing that, you're not paying as close attention in your meeting, and that means your meeting is less effective. And that really is the goal that we're trying to get to. So speaking of being more effective, one of the things that's really important about being out in the workforce is we don't sit at a desk all the time, do we? I mean, right now I'm doing all of this right off my laptop, right? And you can see it, but a lot of time I spend working on my phone, just like everybody else. It may be that I'm out to lunch. It may be that I'm sitting in a conference room someplace and I don't have my laptop with me. It may be that I'm going and watching my son play soccer or my daughter play in the orchestra. When I'm not at my desk, I still need to be able to get my work done. Okay, so if we work on our phone all the time, can we get to all these tools as well? And the answer is yes. So Microsoft has actually provided a Delve app for us. And I'll go ahead and open that up. I have this Delve app right here. And you'll see when it opens up, the first thing it shows to me is a whole bunch of people. Now I'm showing you my individual people here, but I'm going to pop back over to looking at a bunch of documents. And you can see here that I have the same kind of interface, a bunch of cards, right? And I can look at these different documents that are out there. And so what I can go out and take a look at is, let me go find a document that I want to take a look at. Let's see here. I'll go grab, oh, here we go, a table of contents. That'll be very deep and detailed, right? Simply by tapping on it, I get a detailed view of what's out here, and I can even click on the Open button, and it's going to open up a preview of this document in Delve. So I can go out and see what's actually on this document. And you can see I've actually got a document here, right? It's pretty straightforward. It's nice and simple. If I want to open this in Word, I can simply, let's see, tap the little pencil icon, right? And it's going to go ahead and open this document in the Word app that's running on my phone. And so it's downloading that document, opening it up inside of Word, and this app in and of itself allows me, because I have an O365 account, the ability to fully edit everything that's on this system as well. All right, so I can open this up right inside of Microsoft Word, and you can see I can now work through this entire document. And by the way, this is a fully editable document. If I want to edit this document, I can actually go in here, I can type, and I can start testing. I can type testing if I want to, right? Well, actually I can't because it's a read-only document right now. When I'm done, I can simply tap the back button, and I'm right back in Delve again. And I can go all the way back to Delve, and I can go continue looking for documents. I can search over here, and I can search, for example, for one of my coworkers, Mr. Dalton, Jeff, and you can see that by simply typing his name in, it shows him out there, but it also shows me documents that he's been working on that have his name associated with it, and I can tap on his name, and it takes me to his profile page inside of Delve, and I can go ahead and see it's actually going to show me documents that he's currently working on. I can see who he works with and what colleagues we have that we work on together. I can still get to my favorites, right? Because all those favorites that we had before are out there. I can see the work that I've been working on, and I can go ahead and work through that. And I can also see the people that are inside my organization. So all of this is available to you, whether you're on the desktop or whether you're on your phone. You'll be able to get to Delve and use it to surface content to you, to find people, to find out what documents they've been working on, and be able to search across all of the workloads inside of Office 365. Whether that file's in SharePoint, whether it's in OneDrive, whether it's been emailed to you, you'll be able to find it using Delve, and in fact, it'll be surfaced up to you if it's something that you're working on a regular basis. I find this to be a huge value in my daily work because this is where I go to find things that I'm working on. I hope you found it valuable as well. Thank you.